webinar today. I'm just going to share my screen in just a sec. I just want to make sure that I'm able to do that. Yes. So welcome. I'm really exceptionally pleased that you are here. And I'm really thrilled about today because I've got some awesome things planned for you, and lots of wonderful information. And I've just got a little bit of housekeeping here to do. And lots of wonderful information. Just give me just a moment. And I've got everything in stereo here at the moment. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Awesome. I can hear myself back, which is a bit disconcerting. So you can see down the bottom of underneath the video there, you've got a chat box. What I'd really like you to do is type in any questions that you have. If you want to say hi, tell us where you're from, and I'll try and answer any questions that you have during the webinar. Because I'm going to cover a lot of information today, and I'm going to present in a way that's different to the way I've presented before, and you're going to find out why in just a minute. But I've got some fantastic information to set you up for 2016 so you really can live an exceptional life, so you can finally achieve all your goals and dreams, and not be held back anymore by the stories that are holding you back. So you really want to pay attention and take action on what I'm going to share with you today, because it will make the difference between you achieving your goals and making 2016 your best year ever, and you having another year just like every other year that whereby you might set some goals, but it just turns out to be the same disappointment, the same mediocre results, and you living the same life that you've always lived. And you don't want that. You really don't want that. So I'm now going to share my screen because I have a presentation that I'm going to share with you. So there is the first slide, Unleash Greatness and Live an Exceptional Life. And the thing is, you know, that most people don't get to live an exceptional life. What do I mean by an exceptional life? Well, by an exceptional life, I mean one whereby it's not just about having all the trappings, all the money, all the wealth, the lifestyles of the rich and famous. It's about having great relationships. It's about having fulfillment and satisfaction. It's about feeling vibrant and alive and so healthy that you're jumping out of your skin every day. It's doing things that have great meaning in your life. That is living an exceptional life. You can have all the money and the trappings, and we've seen it over and over with some of the big Hollywood superstars and those people who do live those lives that so many of us yearn for, because we just think when we have that lifestyle, all our problems are going to be solved. And it's not necessarily true. Do they not have money worries? Most of them don't. Some of them do, because they live over and above their financial income. Most of them don't, but still, you know, a lot of the time their relationships fall apart. They have a crap relationship with themselves. Their health is not that great because they're, you know, into alcohol and drugs, or the women are dieting too much to maintain their physique, to be able to continue their profession. There's just all this stuff that goes along with it, and they're not necessarily living an exceptional life. They look like they are, but how many have we seen in recent years who have ended up killing themselves, whether it be accidentally or on purpose, because it's a life of excess, but they end up living an empty life. You don't want that. You want an exceptional life. And that's what I'm going to share with you today, is how you can do that. So firstly, you don't really need to know about me so much because most of you already know me. So what we're going to cover today is I have a major announcement about the Conscious Wealth Institute that is going to have a very positive impact on you, because I really have had a massive year this year, a massive year of transformation, of realization. I've been turned inside out and upside down because I choose to do personal development work, and secondly because there has been such a massive cosmic shift this year. If you feel like you've been through a washing machine this year, it's okay. A lot of us have been through a washing machine this year, and it's been intense, it's been difficult at times, but it's been a massive shake-up, and it's been well worth it. When you come out the other side, it is so worth it. And this is the time that you really want to capitalize on your ability to create what you want, because the cosmos, everything is aligning up to assist you to get what you want, to create the life that you want. And now is the time for you to take action on that seriously. So I'm going to take you through the steps on how to set yourself up for an exceptional year in 2016. I'm going to talk to you about beating the system, the 12 steps to an exceptional life, how you can work with me to get radically better results in 2016. Now, you can take what you want from this webinar and run with it, or if you want to work with me, I'm going to give you an opportunity to do that, because it would be remiss of me to show you how to do it, how to get on track, but then not guide you along the way, not give you an opportunity to give you the guidance to keep you on track. Do you know that 95% of people who set a New Year's resolution have given up on it by the 15th of January? Most people have given up on it by the 2nd of January. But, you know, I mean, resolutions aren't what they used to be. If you want to stay on track, there are some things that you must do, and it's going to go against your nature, against your natural inclination to do these things, because you're going to have to become somebody different if you want radically different results. And then right at the end, you want to stick around, because I'm going to give you the steps to setting and achieving your goals in 2016, the things that you can do right now to get radically better results next year. So this is setting you up for next year, and there's a reason for that I'm going to talk to you about in a minute. So all of you who are on the webinar right now know me as under the Conscious Wealth Institute banner. And the Conscious Wealth Institute, I love the Conscious Wealth Institute. It has just been a fantastic platform for me to reach tens, hundreds of thousands of people. My YouTube channel has over 850,000 views on it. I get messages every day on people telling me how much I've changed their lives, and that's awesome. What happened for me this year was I had to take a step back. I was forced to take a step back and have a look at my brand. And there is a lesson in this for you as well. And I'm going to tell you the story about this in just a minute. But I'm actually rebranding. Now, the Conscious Wealth Institute will remain an entity because I've created quite an identity around it online. And it has been a huge transition for me to rebrand, because I was so attached to the Conscious Wealth Institute. And but here's what I've done. Here is my brand new brand. I'm unveiling it for you right now. My brand new brand is Pitbull. Now, you may feel I don't know what you're feeling right now, to be honest with you. I have no idea what you're feeling about Pitbull. I have had such an incredible mixed reaction to my new brand, and I love it. I absolutely love it, and there's a reason for that. Just a quick story around the Pitbull brand. I went to a workshop earlier this year, and it was a great workshop. It was about your success business blueprint. by a guy called Dale Beaumont. He's an Australian. He's a really, really great guy. He's done great things, and he has some great information that he teaches. But at this workshop, I saw a friend there, and she had another friend with her, and she introduced me, and he and I went to lunch during the break. And at lunch, we were sitting there having a chat. There was another woman sitting near us who turned around and who said, who started asking us questions, because she said, I saw you in the workshop. I really love what Dale Beaumont's got going on. I'm thinking of maybe investing in his program. And then she started coming up with all these objections, reasons why she couldn't. And I didn't realize, I actually did it really unconsciously. I immediately went into my coaching mode, and I just overcame all her objections. Any objections she came up with, I just overcame them straight away. And I really started to getting her to ask questions about where she wants to be, and is she going to continue to hold herself back. And anyway, when we walked away, this guy's a multimillionaire, and he had been a coach for many years. 30 years ago, when coaching wasn't cool, he was a coach, and he was a damn good one. And he'd left that behind and built his own multi-million-dollar businesses, several of them. And he said to me as we walked away, he said, "Man, what do you call your coaching business? Pitbull coaching. You didn't hold back. You just went straight in for that girl, and you nailed her to the wall. You didn't let her get away with anything." Now, I must admit, I was really, really confronted by that, because I immediately went into, oh my God, was I really horrible? Was I nasty? And he just said, no. He said, you just didn't let her squirm and get away with her excuses, which is what I'm like. And it took me by surprise. And there was a part of me that big part of me that wanted to recoil and think, yeah, I have to change that. I can't do that. I can't be that person. There was another part of me, there was a small part of me that was secretly loving it. Now, over the next 3 to 4 months, I made a massive transformation, because I brought this up just in fun with my friends, and they went, "Oh my God, that is so you." And I went, "What do you mean that's so me?" And they said, "Well, you were always nailing our asses. You don't let us get away with anything. That we can't make excuses. You don't let us do that." My clients said the same thing. You don't let us get away with anything. And they love that about me. Now, some people are going to hate it. Some people are going to love it. My difficulty was that the Conscious Wealth Institute brand that I had grown so attached to, I realized was all about proving my worth to the world. It was all about justifying my position here in the world, and it was all about people loving, liking, and accepting me. Seriously, I had that hang up. And when I went through my my core beliefs, which is really, really important, and I'll touch on that a little bit later. When I went through my core beliefs again this year, I realized that acceptance was one of my top core beliefs. Now, here's the thing. In order to make the impact that I want to make in the world, if I'm constantly striving to have people accept me, then I'm not going to make the massive impact that I want to have in the world. Because in order to have the impact that I want to have, I need to be polarizing. I need to be controversial. I need to be asking people questions that make them uncomfortable. And this is why this presentation today is potentially going to make you uncomfortable, because I am not going to hold back. I'm going to be the pit bull in this presentation. I'm going to ask you difficult questions, and I'm going to get you to look at your life in a new way and look at your results in a new light and say, what do I want for myself? Seriously, am I going to put up with this for the rest of my life, or am I going to do what it takes? And sometimes it takes a pit bull to be able to get the job done. And what I mean by pit bull is I mean the tenacity. I don't mean hurting anybody or anything like that. People have these bad perceptions about pit bulls. That's not what I'm about. When I talk about the pit bull, a pit bull is an incredibly loyal, loving, committed, tenacious animal, because I love dogs. You know I love dogs. And pit bulls just have a focus and an energy and the tenacity to go, this is my domain. I own it, and nobody is going to stop me from protecting my domain. And I will fight for my clients every step of the way to make sure that they get the results that they get. And that's what I want for you. That's how I want to help you. And that's why I'm rebranding. So if you don't like this side of me, then that's fine. You can stay with the Conscious Wealth Institute. I will continue every couple of weeks to put information out with the Conscious Wealth Institute. However, Pitbull is now going to be my main focus, because I realized that in order to make a much bigger difference and to move to the next level and beyond, I had to rebrand. So, I'd love your feedback on that. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, that's fine too, because you know what? I'm not invested in what people think about me. And it's really important that you take that on board as well. So let's get into the rest of the presentation. So that's the two brands together. You can see how incredibly different they are. And let me just say finally that getting a professional to help me with my personal brand, because Pitbull didn't just happen. I had the name, but when I decided that I was going to run with that, I got a professional branding expert to come in and actually help me build the brand and define what the brand meant so I could own the brand. And boy, did that take a big shift for me to own this brand. I heard Vance Joy talking recently. Somebody said, your name is actually James. How did you come up with Vance Joy? And he told the story that Vance was the name of a character in a book that he was reading. When he first put the name out there, and people, he'd say, well, I'm an artist, and people would say, oh, what do you call yourself? And he'd say Vance Joy, and they go, what? And he would get all embarrassed because he felt embarrassed about the name Vance Joy. He found it difficult to own. I did feel that way about Pitbull for a while, but now that I have owned it and embodied it, it has coming through in everything that I do, and it is just, it's so liberating to have a brand that you can that really elevates you to the next level, that you don't feel you have to make excuses for who you are in the world, and you can just own it and run with it. I know my clients straight away, because if people, when I say my business name is Pitbull, if people back away, then I immediately know that they're not my client. But the reaction that I've had from the majority of people is, wow, what an incredible name. Tell me more about what you do. Which I never got that with the Conscious Wealth Institute. Never. People would kind of glaze over when I said I was from the Conscious Wealth Institute. They just didn't get it. So it's really, really important that you have a brand or an identity that you can be recognized for and by, and that you can own. So what I want to start with getting you primed for next year is that 2016 starts now for you. 2016 starts now. Do not wait until 2016 rolls around and it's January, and then it's mid-January, and then it's the end of January, because what happens is it's really, really difficult when you're in a state of inertia. It's incredibly difficult to get momentum. If you think of a rocket ship sitting on a launching pad, it takes a massive amount of energy to get that rocket ship up off the launching pad and into the atmosphere to begin with. As it continues to travel, it picks up momentum. As it gets further and further out of the Earth's atmosphere, then it gets out of the gravity pull, and they can eventually shut down the boosters, so they don't have to propel the vehicle anymore, the ship anymore. And every now and again, when they want a bit of momentum, they just turn the boosters back on to give them a bit of a shove, and then they're back on their way again. Now, what happens is, if you wait until 2016 rolls around, and then it's the middle of January, and then it's the end of January, and look, I don't know if it's just in Australia. I have a feeling that we have an anomaly here in Australia where people are already, they've pretty much decided they're on holidays at the beginning of December. They go, oh, everything shuts down over this time. And because we have, for those people overseas who are not aware, we have our summer holidays for our schools here in Australia. So there's 6 weeks of kids' holidays. And a lot of businesses just shut down and they don't get started until the end of February. So there's 3 months where they're not actually doing anything for their businesses. Big mistake, because then you have to build that momentum, and then you don't get momentum until March, and then you're always playing catch up. It's just a really bad way to run your business. What you want to do is set yourself up for success for 2016 right now. I don't mean you don't take holidays. Christmas is a fabulous time to take holidays and spend with family, but Christmas is just one day, 2 at the most, with Boxing Day in the middle. So if you want success in 2016, you've got to set yourself up for success now by putting some things in place. Now, here's what you want to put in place. Firstly, ask yourself, are you interested or are you committed? The difference is, if you're just interested, then you may as well get a box of Tim Tams if you're in Australia, or a box of Oreos and a cup of tea, and go and sit on the sofa and enjoy some movies. Because unless you're committed, I am not here to tell you that you're going to be an overnight success. This takes work. It doesn't have to be hard work. And I'm going to show you the easiest way to get yourself successful, but it does take work. I have not met a single successful entrepreneur or multimillionaire who has not done the work. And it doesn't happen overnight. It can happen relatively quickly. But if you want to sit there and just wait for it all to come to you, then I suggest that you get a job, and you get a job that you really enjoy, and you stick at that, and you get really good at investing your money to grow your money, or find somebody else who can do that for you, because this journey is not an easy journey. And you probably know that already. But if you're not committed, which means that you will do whatever it takes, you will overcome the challenges, you will grit your teeth and get through the tough times, you will not make excuses, you will work the long hours when you need to work the long hours, and you will make the decision to just bust through whatever is holding you back. So are you interested or are you committed? You need to decide right now, because if you're interested, maybe this webinar isn't for you. Maybe it's time for you to go and grab a good book and spend this next hour just sitting and reading a good book. So I'd love to have you stick around. I'm just saying that if you're not committed, then you may as well give up now, because you're setting yourself up for disappointment, to be honest with you. So my word for this year, for 2015, was surrender. And I will never forget when a colleague said to me, gosh, isn't that just an excuse for you to be lazy? And that kind of blew me back a bit. And I thought long and hard, and that question has stuck with me all year. But the word surrender, and I want you to choose a word for your year, because it will set the tone for your year. The word surrender was the perfect word for me for this year, because did I do some navel gazing? Yeah, I did. But I did a lot of internal work. I went inside. I did a lot of questioning. I reviewed the results that I had and where I was heading. And I had to take a good long look at whether I was set up to achieve the goals and dreams that I have for my future and for the impact that I want to have in the world. And because of this word surrender, I surrendered to the process. I surrendered to my internal guidance. I surrendered to my higher consciousness. And I surrendered to the perfection of everything. And it was actually really tough, because I had to fall apart in order to pull myself back together again. So surrender was the perfect word for me this year. However, having come through that, next year, 2016, my word is impactful. So this word is the theme that runs through everything. I have it on my wall. It is already driving my results for 2016 and what I do for 2016. So choose a word that works for you. So impactful for me, I thought of impact, and I thought, well, you got to be careful what you wish for, right? I thought of impact, and I thought, do I really, if I use the word impact, am I going to end up having car crashes and running into things. I do not want that for my life. So instead I changed the word to impactful, and I gauge where I'm at any given point in my day with impactful. So is this the most impactful thing I could be doing for myself and for others right now? Is this the most impactful frame of mind or state of mind that I could be in right now? In my relationship, is the most impactful thing that I could do for my relationship? Is this the most impactful thing that I could say in my relationship? And of course, the word positive is implied. When I say impactful, I mean having a positive impact. So impactful is a theme that's just going to run through my life for 2016. So choose your word carefully. What theme do you want to be running through your life in 2016? This is part of priming your brain for success in 2016. When you have your word, you'll know when you have it. Then you need to print it out, put it up on a wall close by where you see it on a regular basis, and run it through everything that you do in your life for 2016. And ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now, is what I'm saying right now, is who I'm being right now in alignment with who I want to become this year and in alignment with my word for the year? So choose a word. You are the future. If you are waiting, I know there are problems around the planet. I know that we have massive corruption, we have problems in the finance industry, we have problems in the health industry, we have all sorts of problems all around the world. Globally, we're making a mess of this planet. But here's the thing, if you are waiting for the government or somebody else to pick up the pieces and to fix it, then you're going to die watching this planet die and watching your future die. Here's the thing, you are the future. You are the future for yourself. You are the future for this planet. I read an article recently by the ex-Greek finance minister. Now, he is the ex-Greek finance minister because, of course, the European powers that be brought the heavies down on him and said that Greece couldn't leave the euro and set up their own fiscal policy to be able to save them from the brink of financial ruin. And he quit when the heavies came in and said that, because he said that Greece is headed for a massive fall. There is no way that, he said anyway, this is his opinion of course, there is no way that they can save themselves from the disaster that's coming with the way they have their debt set up and all the rest of it. So he quit, but the thing that he said is that, now this applies to Australia, but it will apply to most countries around the world. In Australia, we have been relying on our resources sector to be buoyant in the global economy. And as we know, most global economies tanked several years ago and they have not recovered. And far from recovering, there is the real potential. There is massive talk about another bust coming. There is talk around entrepreneurs in Australia. I align myself with very established and successful entrepreneurial groups here in Australia. And if you talk to those entrepreneurs and you listen to what they're saying there is another bust coming. Now, this isn't to alarm you, because at the same time there's a bust coming, there is also a boom coming. So which one are you going to align yourself with? Because you can either allow yourself to be at the mercy of the bust that's coming and at the mercy of global economic forces, or you can set yourself up to take advantage of the boom that's coming, because when there's a bust, there is always a boom. Which one will you choose? But you need to make a choice. And the reason I'm saying you are the future is because Yanis Varoufakis, the ex-Greek finance minister, said that the thing that will save Australia is entrepreneurship, fostering the entrepreneurs of Australia. Now, I was very relieved. I don't put much credit in much of what our political leaders say. I think they're all two-faced and they're very rarely telling the truth. But one thing that our current Prime Minister said, if you know anything about Australian politics, we have a revolving door of prime ministers here in Australia. Like before you blink an eye, they're gone. I think we've had 5 prime ministers in like the last 3 years. It's ridiculous. But anyway, our current political leader, Malcolm Turnbull, has said that our future lies in fostering entrepreneurship. And I was very relieved to hear that, because that's what all the entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, are saying. We need to build our economic future and our stability on the back of the entrepreneurs. You are an entrepreneur. You are the future. You are the future of this country, your country. You are the future of consciousness in the world, because if you're on my webinar, I know that you're one of the conscious entrepreneurs, and you are the future of the earth, of the planet. And without you, we're dead in the water. So this is not just about your future. This is about the future of the planet. And that's why I'm really keen to help you to step up and take control of your financial future and be all that you can be in the world, because we need you. The planet needs you. Your country needs you. The people around the world need you to step up and lead. It is time for you to lead. And if that prospect frightens you, then it's really time for you to get over the BS that's holding you back, because you are a leader. If you're on this webinar, you are a leader, and it's time for you to step up and lead and create your future and create a new future for the planet, because the way we're going, we're headed for disaster. Now, as Eckhart Tolle says, we either survive or we die as a race. You know, if we all die, then we move on to the next phase of our existence. We never really die. We just transition into the next phase. So no big deal, really, unless you're particularly attached to this existence. And you know what? I love being human. I love this human existence. It's awesome. We get to do some really cool stuff. So I'm all in to be able to shift the consciousness of this planet and to create a new future for humanity, because gosh darn, do we need one. So take that on board. You are the future. Stop messing around and just get stuff done. So my next thing is to know yourself. And I'll come back to my story about my rebranding from the Conscious Wealth Institute to Pitbull. With the Conscious Wealth Institute, I wasn't being all of me. I wasn't being the big, impactful person that I am here to be. I was shying away from those parts of myself that I found uncomfortable, the parts that challenge people, the parts that make people squirm, the parts that are controversial and polarizing, the part that doesn't back down and settle for mediocrity, the part that asks the hard questions. And that part of me is polarizing, and some people don't like it, and it upsets some people. I don't mean to upset people, but sometimes when you ask the hard questions, it upsets some people. Now that I am owning and embracing who I truly am, and there's more to it than just that. It's knowing your exceptional ability to be, God, so much more than you are being in the world right now. Your brilliance, your greatness. You were born great, with greatness inside of you. And once you know just how incredibly great you truly are, nothing will stand in your way. Nothing. Because once you unleash your greatness on the world, you will make an impact. And it might just be, maybe you just want to make an impact on your family or in your local community or in your state. Or maybe you want to make a global impact, but you don't need to make a global impact to make an impact. You can impact one person and that can change the world. Mahatma Gandhi's mother changed the world by birthing Mahatma Gandhi. Same as Oprah Winfrey's parents, whom I don't think she even knows her father. It was one random lovemaking session with her mother under a tree in Africa that birthed Oprah Winfrey. But Oprah Winfrey has changed the world. So what impact are you going to have once you know yourself, how great, how amazing? Once you embody that and embrace that, nothing will stand in the way of you achieving great things in this world. So know yourself. Do the work to uncover your true self. Who are you really? And bring that to the world. Bring all of it to the world. Don't hold back. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. Stop worrying about what everybody thinks about you, because it doesn't bloody matter. You are who you are. And as long as you have the best of intentions and you are holding the highest standards for yourself and everybody else in your life, that's all that matters. Stay true to that. Stay true to you. So know yourself. Alignment. You would have heard a lot about aligning yourself and your vibration with your goals and your dreams. And there's many different aspects to this. What a lot of people don't talk about is that you need to align yourself physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. So spiritually, have a look at your belief systems. Are you connected with all that is? Are you connected with your higher self? And I asked a question about of myself earlier this year. And that question was, what's the point? When I hit that point of transition, I actually fell apart. I've got to be completely and totally honest with you. I completely fell apart. I was about to walk away from the whole thing. It was such a massive shake-up for me when I looked at what I had created. And I've put a lot of time and effort into the Conscious Wealth Institute, and it's done great things. But it wasn't enough, and I knew it wasn't enough. And there was a part of me that was going, when is enough going to be enough? How much do I have to put into this? Am I up to it? Do I have what it takes? Of course, the answer was yes. But I needed to really check in with my alignment. Was I being all that I could be? Was I truly aligned with my higher self, my higher purpose? Was I aligned physically? Was I doing the right things? Was I taking the right action? Was I in the right mind space? Was I aligned mentally? Was I in the right headspace to achieve what I want to achieve? Did I have the emotional alignment? Was I working through my fears, my doubts, my self-esteem issues, which we all have, me included? The biggest leaders on the planet still have self-esteem, self-doubt, belief. They still have fears. They still have challenges. They still have all of those things. Never think that they don't, because they're human. But are you aligned physically and emotionally and mentally and spiritually with your goals and dreams? Because you must be aligned in all 4 areas. So it's great if you've got the right mindset, but if you're not taking the right action and being physically aligned, then it's not going to happen. So that's something that you really must attend to, is alignment on all levels of for yourself and your life. You are a product of your environment. Now, this is really important. You have been a product of your environment. So the environment that you grew up in, you're a product of that. The environment that you were educated in, you're a product of that. The environment that you continue to surround yourself with now, you're a product of that. And if you want something to change, then you must change your environment. What are you reading? What are you watching? Are you watching the trash on television every night? Because that is so mind-numbing and ridiculous. Are you on Facebook too much of the day? Let me tell you that one of the most liberating things I did recently was I actually deactivated my Facebook account. And I left it alone for 2 weeks. And it was the best feeling ever, because I got sick and tired of the drivel and the trash that keeps coming through Facebook. So I've now reactivated my Facebook account, but I have a different focus and I'm playing very differently on Facebook. So if you're getting drawn into all the drivel on Facebook, it's just something else to distract you and keep you dumbed down. Don't do that. Who are you hanging out with? That's a big part of your environment. This weekend just gone, if you don't know Australia, I live in Queensland, which is in the top half of Australia, and New South Wales is one of the bottom states in Australia. and Sydney and Brisbane are about 1,000 k's away from each other. On Sunday, I flew to Sydney. My husband and I both flew to Sydney for the day just for a Christmas party. Now, that sounds like a damn good time, right? Well, it wasn't about that. This was a Christmas party of entrepreneurs, and it was a fantastic Christmas party. You know, we sailed. We didn't sail, but we were on a boat on Sydney Harbour. That is one of the most beautiful harbours in the world. Seriously, if you've never seen Sydney Harbour, I don't want to live in Sydney, but Sydney Harbour is spectacular. And for 4 hours, I networked, I mingled, I met some of the biggest entrepreneurs in that environment. And I came back inspired and with a new vision, an upgraded vision for the next 5 to 10 years of my life and what I want to create. So by being in that environment and listening to the stories and the story of Jack Delosa and what he's created with the Entourage, which is an incredible organization that he has started and created, and that was the group that I went to the Christmas party with, the Entourage. And the way he is fostering entrepreneurship in Australia, the way he is educating and re-educating the Australian people, because he just said that our education system has really failed our youth. So he wants to re-educate our youth. He wants to foster entrepreneurship. He's got programs running. He's just a really incredible dude. And his company is building so fast. I want to be in that environment because that's what inspires me. That is what is going to help me to step up to the next level. So you are a product of your environment. Analyze every element of your environment. Is it conducive to you achieving the results that you want? Beating the system. This is setting yourself up to do as little as possible, doing exactly what you love and getting paid really well to do it. And there are not very many people who get to live an exceptional life and beat the system, not because they can't, just because they don't know how. What you want to do is get the knowledge, the systems in place, the processes, the mindset to beat the system, because it can be done. If you've got this stuff going on that you have to work hard for money and that life's a struggle, and you know, that's just a story. It's just a story that you've been sold, that you've been exposed to, that you've adopted. Get rid of it. Learn how to beat the system. Educate yourself. There are people out there doing it. Find them. Find out how they're doing it. Find out what they're doing, and just follow them. Do what they're doing. Get in their space. Find out how they've done it, and then do it not exactly the way they've done it, because you've got to inject yourself into whatever you do, but use what they've already done. Don't try and recreate the wheel. When there are people there who have already done something, don't reinvent the wheel. Just find out what they've done and do it. It's really not that hard. You do realize that you're making this harder than it really is. It doesn't have to be that hard. So change your frame of mind and ask yourself questions like, how can I beat the system? How can I set myself up for success? How can I make this much more easy than I'm making it right now? What's stopping me? What's standing in my way from being all that I can be in the world? Beat the system. Fall in love with the process. So many people, and you know, there's a reason why only a smaller amount of people get to live an exceptional life. And that's because they fall in love with the idea of having an exceptional life. They fall in love with the idea of having the nice car, the big house, the world trips, the freedom to do what they want. But they don't fall in love with the process, because here's the kicker. The process can be bloody hard sometimes. It just is. Your life doesn't have to be hard, but the process can be tricky. If you were raised in an environment that didn't prime you for success, then you've got to do the hard work that shifts your mindset and gives you a success blueprint. Plain and simple, but you've got to do the work. So you need to fall in love with the process. Learn to love it. You know, this life gives us so many amazing experiences. And once you see the perfection of where you're at right now and embrace that, and know that life is not happening to you, It is happening for you. Get that. Life is not happening to you. It is happening for you. Ask yourself, instead of asking yourself, why does my life suck right now? Why does nothing work for me? Have a look and say, what if this is what it looks like while it's happening? What if this is what it looks like while it's happening? Because while you think nothing is happening, there is stuff going on underneath that you have no idea. The universe is putting things in place. Once you set your target and you decide what you want, the universe goes into action, but you can't see it all happening. A lot of it happens beneath your level of awareness. Trust that it is happening and ask yourself, even though it looks like it's all falling apart, what if it's all falling together? And what if this is what it looks like while it's happening? Very powerful questions. Learn to fall in love with the process of getting to where you want to be, because that is what this life is about. And if you don't fall in love with the process, you're never going to finish and follow through with the process. And that is what it takes. You must follow through with the process. So, okay, here are the 12 steps, and I've already mentioned a few of them. Just let me take a sip of water. You know what? I'm also going to just take a moment to check and see if you guys have any questions happening. And now for some reason, okay. Hi, Marina. How are you? Okay, so there's not a lot of activity happening in the chat box right now. Now, I did notice that on my Chrome browser, for some reason, the chat box didn't come up. I don't know why that is. It's come up on my Firefox browser, but not on my Chrome browser. So I do apologize if you can't see the chat box. I don't know what's happening with Chrome that's stopping that from coming up. But if you're on Firefox as a browser, then, and you got any questions, don't forget to type them in to the chat box underneath the video. So I will come back and check on that shortly. So here's the 12-step process. Firstly, decide. You must decide what you want and make a firm decision. So for your success blueprint, what is it that you want? What is it that you want? And don't settle for anything less than what you want. What most people do is they have this dream or this vision and they think, oh no, I can't achieve that, so I'll just go for this. I will make my goals based on what I know I can achieve. Don't do that. You can achieve anything that you put your mind to. What do you really want? What impact do you want to have in the world? Make a decision on what you really want to have, because you can achieve anything. What all the super successful people have achieved in the world, you can achieve too. Nothing is beyond you when you set your mind to a goal. It might take you 5 years. It might take you 10 years. It might take you 20 years, depending on the size of your vision, your commitment, how you align yourself. There's lots of variables in there. But just decide and then go for it. Start. So decide what you truly want. What sets your heart on fire? What's your mission? What's your purpose? What breaks your heart? What legacy do you want to leave? What impact do you want to have on the world? What's your vision for you and your future? What life do you want to live? It's about lifestyle. What is the lifestyle that you want? And it's going to be different for everybody. Don't accept the generic version of, yes, I want the big house and I want the nice expensive car and I want the world trips. If that is what you truly want, if that's what your heart yearns for, desperately yearns for, absolutely go for it. Do it. But here's the thing. I had the big house. I had a big house down in New South Wales. It was a gorgeous house. It was on a 5-acre block of land. It was hidden away from everybody. We were so isolated, and bloody hell, I was miserable. And there were various reasons why I was miserable. But that didn't do it for me. we shifted from New South Wales back to Queensland. We now live on Tamborine Mountain, and we live on a gorgeous little block of land, which is big enough for my dogs to run around on. And we have a quaint little house in the most gorgeous place on the planet as far as I'm concerned. And I'm the happiest I have ever been. I don't need flash cars or want flash cars. I don't want a big house. I don't want any of that stuff. What I want is to make an impact, big impact. Now, I do have a big vision as far as having a property and saving more animals, because I love animals, potentially running retreats, all that stuff. That's a big vision for my future. But that isn't based on me wanting the big plush house. I now know that that for me is just a nightmare. I don't want that again. It was too much to look after, to be honest with you. And I don't want to go back there again. So decide what you want and what legacy you want to leave. Number 2, visualize and bring emotion into your visualizations. The reason visualization, and you will have heard this before, I know, but the reason visualization works so well is because your visual cortex cannot distinguish between fantasy and reality. And what it does, it wants to match up what you are visualizing in your current experiential world. So when you start to visualize what you have decided you want and you attach the emotion, how does that feel for you? How does it feel to have that freedom? How does it feel to be living that life that truly sets your heart on fire? How does it feel to be serving people in the way that you want to serve people and doing it every single day? And then visualize how that looks and add the feeling to it, and your visual cortex and your subconscious mind will go to work to match your reality with your vision for your future. It is so powerful. It works because we are energy. Everything is energy, and every vision you put out there is an energy. It's a rocket that is launched into the stratosphere of the cosmos, and it will bring back to you as long as you hold on to that vision. You really hold on to that vision, and you do this on a regular basis. It's a very important part of the process. Engage your imagination and just visualize whatever you want. Recognize and release your BS. Now, you could say your belief systems, or you could say your bullshit. But to be honest with you, either way, it's the same damn thing. But you need to recognize what's holding you back, what's slowing you down, what's stopping you from being all that you can be in the world and achieving great things, achieving greatness. Because you can really achieve anything that you put your mind to. The only thing that's holding you back is the stories that are locked into your subconscious mind. Now, here's the thing. They have discovered in the last 10 to 15 years that the brain has something called neuroplasticity, which just means that we used to think that once the brain had settled, by the time we were sort of 15 to 20, then it was set and you couldn't change it. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, as they used to say. Well, we found out that that's not true, and that you can switch that neuroplasticity back on. So when you're born, and in the first 2 years of your life, from 0 to 2, your brain is at its most plastic. It's just absorbing everything. It's building a network of trillions upon trillions of neural pathways that will determine your results in life. And then from the ages of 2 to 7, it's still pretty plastic, and it's still growing and evolving and building all these neural pathways. From 7 to sort of 10, it's still a bit plastic. And then from when you get to about 15, it's almost pretty set and locked, until you switch on the neuroplasticity switch, and you use specific tools and techniques to change those neural transmitters, to change those neural pathways so you get different results. This is why most people don't achieve the results that they want, because their external expectations don't match their internal expectations. Your subconscious mind will always work to match your external expectations with your internal expectations. So that's why 85% of people who win the lottery end up doing whatever they can to get rid of the money. And within 3 years, they end up broke and either back where they started or even worse off than they were before. 85% of people. It's massive because their internal expectations are not aligned with their external expectations. So you must have those in alignment. In order to do that, you need to recognize and release your belief systems that are stopping you from aligning internally. You've got to do the internal work. Capitalize your strengths and outsource your weaknesses. You have great strengths. Focus on those because they are what you are meant to bring to the world. And don't do this on your own. Find people who can, like I couldn't brand myself. I had to find a branding specialist to help me to build my new brand. Building websites, if that's not one of your strengths, get somebody else to do it for you. Now, I know when you're starting out that resources can be a bit limited, but build yourself to the point where as soon as you can, you outsource the stuff that you're not particularly good at and that you don't like doing. So you can spend your time doing the money stuff. The money stuff is your strengths, your unconscious competence, your gifts, your talents. They're your strengths. They're where you need to be spending your time the most. So as soon as you have the resources to, start outsourcing your weaknesses. Have a plan. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Simple. Every single successful person has a plan. It doesn't mean you need to know every step of the plan. Just make a draft plan. Make a draft plan. At least know the first 2 to 3 steps for sure, and then make the rest up. Just look at the gap of where you are to where you want to be, and then make a plan to get to where you want to be in a particular time frame. Set a time frame. And then just start taking action. Now, the plan you'll need to adjust the plan along the way. That's okay, but you need to have a plan. So you need to have a strategy. How are you going to achieve what you want to achieve? And you don't need to know everything about how, but what kind of vehicle are you going to use in order to achieve financial freedom? Are you going to use property as an investment strategy? Are you going to set up your own business, which I highly recommend if you haven't already? Are you going to invest in shares? Are you going to get into partnership with a financial angel or an investor of some sort? But have a plan, have a vehicle, have a strategy in place for how you're going to get to where you want to get to. Laser focus, very important. If you don't have this skill, which most people don't, you just develop it. Once you know what you want to achieve, once you have a vision, once you have your why, focus will come a lot more easily. But what every successful person has is laser-like focus. They set their mind to something and they're like a machine. They just churn it out. And it's really interesting. In actual fact, I worked with a client recently who she just wants to set up a jewelry business. And she's had this vision for a while and she really, really, really wants to do it. She just couldn't seem to get to take the first few steps. She had all these stories that were stopping her and holding her back. And after the very first session I had with her, she got in touch with me several days later, because what we did was I said, okay, Christmas is coming up. This was a few weeks ago now. Christmas is coming up. Christmas is a great time for you to get your jewelry business up and running. So your people are buying presents from you for Christmas. And she was like, oh, geez, I don't know about Christmas. Christmas is a bit close. But I'll have everything up and running for Valentine's Day. And I went, okay, all right, fair enough. I could have pushed her and she would have kicked and screamed. But what happened was several days later, she emailed me, and I won't tell you the word she used, but she said, I don't know what just happened, but all of a sudden she said, I've got market stalls happening in the next few weeks. I've got people ordering jewelry from me. I can't make enough jewelry to keep up with what's happening. I feel like I'm running to keep up with my business and it's taken off without me. And she's got jewelry coming across Facebook, like she's just churning it out. And she's so excited. She's still sitting there going, I don't know what happened. But I helped her to align with her vision and get rid of the BS. And all of a sudden, she is so focused and she is just smashing it. And it's so exciting to watch. You know, that is what sets my world on fire, seriously. But ask yourself the right questions. I've already been through some of that with you. How do I achieve what I want to achieve? Most people are asking questions like, why am I always broke? Why does nothing ever work for me? Why am I still here when I want to be here? Why don't my relationships work? So people are asking disempowering questions, most people. So they get the same answers, because you will get an answer to your question. And if you ask those kind of questions, you're just going to get the same answers. Ask the right questions. What do I need to do to get different results? Who do I need to talk to? How do I need to change environment? Instead of saying I can't, start saying how can I? Ask yourself empowering questions that will get you the answers and the results that you want. Your questions will determine your answers and your results. Your questions will determine your answers and your results. Start asking empowering questions. What do I need to read? Who do I need to listen to? What actions do I need to take? How do I get different results? Very, very different ball game when you start asking the right questions. If you guys write this stuff down and you take action on this stuff, you will get different results in 2016. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Just do it. Just get over yourself and your stories and do it. Invest in yourself. There is not an entrepreneur or a successful entrepreneur that I don't know that hasn't invested a significant amount of time and money in their mindset, in their knowledge, in their skills, in setting up their business. But the first thing, this guy, Jack Delosa, who I met on the cruise that I went on the weekend, he has invested $200 to $300 in himself. He had massive failure in business to begin with, then invested $200,000 to $300,000 in himself to actually get to where he is right now, where his business is incredible. It is on fire. I spoke to his employees that day. You should see how excited those dudes are to be working for him and to be following his vision and to be helping other people to achieve great things. So invest in yourself. And I know that if your financial resources are tight, then this can be difficult. But here's the thing. If you're saying that I can't because I don't have enough money, it's just a damn story. Because where there is a will, there is a way. Be resourceful. Stop saying I can't. Start asking how can I? Because if you continue to try to do this on your own, I'm not saying you won't be able to, but it could take you 10 years, 15, 20 years to start getting the results that you want. Is that what you want for your future? Or do you want to fast track it? Because if you want to fast track it, you've got to invest in yourself. I know that investing in a coach, for me, it was one of the toughest decisions. Actually, it wasn't a tough decision at the time. It was one that I'd procrastinated over for years. But when I finally got to the point where I was so tired of just getting the same crappy results over and over, I went, you know what? I can't do this on my own. I just can't. I invested in a coach, best decision I ever made. I invest in programs all the time. I'm investing in entrepreneurship, in being aligned with entrepreneurial groups. You don't get into those groups unless you invest, and sometimes you need to invest heavily to be in that environment. Best decisions I have ever made is to invest in myself, in my personal development, in my mindset, in becoming who I need to be to achieve the results that I want to achieve. Master your mindset. Similar to invest in yourself. Find out what stories you have, because it's all bullshit. It's just all bullshit. It's just a story. Whatever is stopping you from living your exceptional life is just a damn story. Master your mindset and do whatever it takes. Make the decision to not be held back by anything or any story, or anyone for that matter. Be relentless. You must be relentless in the pursuit of your goals. The only person who fails is the person who gives up. And if you talk to anybody who succeeded in anything, they have failed many, 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 many times. You will fall flat on your face. It's not how many times you fall over. If you fall over 99 times, you got to pick yourself up 100. That's the difference between success and failure. You must be relentless. You must be resourceful. And think, how can I? Not, I can't. And take consistent action. Consistency is your best friend. Complacency and apathy are your biggest enemies. So you must take consistent action. It's a bit like if you want to lose weight. Going to the gym once a month and eating burgers for the rest of the time is not going to get you to lose weight. It's going to get you to put on weight. You must consistently go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. You must consistently eat better food that supports your body in becoming the weight that you want it to be and being healthy and vibrant and alive. But it's consistent action that will get you the right action in the right order at the right time. And if you don't know how to do that, find a coach or a mentor who does, and get them to guide you along the way to get the results that you want. Who are your mentors? So they were the 12 steps. Who are your mentors? Who are you following? Now, you know, Oprah Winfrey, Richard Branson, Steve Jobs, all those guys, amazing. And if you have those as the people who you want to emulate and be like, then that's fantastic. What I did was, though, when I reevaluated where I was headed this year, when I rebranded, I also reevaluated who I wanted to emulate. So these people, 3 of them are Australians. The guy on the left is brain fade. Gosh, Steve Irwin, man, don't you hate that? Steve Irwin. If you don't know who Steve Irwin is, massive in the States, and he was huge here. Unfortunately, died 10 years ago. I think it was 10 years ago. When he got pierced by a stingray doing his wildlife stuff. But the reason I have Steve Irwin as one of the people I look up to is because he was relentless. He was all those things. He was focused. He was so passionate. He loved what he did so much. But the thing is, he wasn't about the money. And this is, you know, when I said know yourself, just about every single goal setting webinar, seminar, workshop that I've ever been to has always been about setting goals about money. Now, I do think that you need to set financial goals, absolutely. But they don't drive me. Money does not drive me. I'm not interested in setting a massive money goal. I used to set massive money goals. Here's the thing. I'm embarrassed to admit that I've never achieved one of my money goals. You know, 2 things. One is I set them so damn high that, and actually here's another lesson for you, but I'll finish this story first. I set my goals at like 7 figures. And it's not that it's not achievable for me. It just wasn't achievable in the amount of time that I set for myself. It was unrealistic for me in the time frame that I set. I haven't achieved those goals yet. I will still achieve them, but, and here's the thing that I've really changed this year, is how I set my goals and what drives me, what inspires me, what goals inspire me. So money doesn't inspire me. To be honest with you, money doesn't really interest me. Money is leverage. Money is an ability to make a bigger impact in the world, but it doesn't inspire me. If I put a money goal up on my wall, it doesn't inspire me when I look at it. What inspires me is what impact I'm going to have. How many people's lives am I going to impact in the next 6 to 12 months? So I now set goals around the number of people I'm going to impact. Who am I going to significantly impact, meaning who am I going to work with one-on-one? How many people am I going to significantly impact? And how many people am I going to even have a tiny shift? Because sometimes the tiniest shift can make the biggest difference to somebody's life. So I now set my goals as to how many people I am going to impact. I still have a financial plan and I still have my financial goals, but they are not my top priority. My top priority is who am I going to impact. Steve Irwin made a massive impact on this planet for the animals. And he also inspires people around the world at the same time, but that wasn't his goal. His goal was to help animals. And what he does with his money, what he did with his money and what his foundation and his family still does with the money is they fund wildlife sanctuaries. They're continuing to save the planet with their money, and that to me is something that I can really live up to. That's something that I can relate to. Middle, Russell Brand. You would all know Russell Brand. Gone from massive druggie and just living the lifestyles of the rich and famous to huge in the consciousness movement. If you have not been exposed to some of Russell Brand's latest stuff, get on YouTube and Google Russell Brand, because man, his consciousness is incredible. He's a smart dude and he has got it happening, and he is challenging the establishment, the money establishment. He is challenging everything that we have come to be locked into our paradigms by. He's challenging the being a slave to the system, so he can stop people being enslaved. So Russell Brand, I love him to pieces. We've got his new book here, Revolution, and I haven't read it yet, but my husband has, and I can't wait to get my teeth into that book. On the other side of Russell Brand is Pat Mesiti, who's gorgeous. He's just this incredible little pocket rocket who has made a massive difference to people's lives and is incredibly inspiring. And the guy down the bottom is Jack Delosa. He's insanely cute and really annoying because he's so damn young and he's doing so many good things in the world. But he inspires me because he's created the entourage and he's re-educating people in Australia, and he's making a massive difference, and he's built his business from the ground up. These are the people who really inspire me and who I want to be like. So these are the people who I want to have on my wall, who I have on my wall to look at and to remind myself. And look, that picture of Russell Brand, whenever you look at that, it's kind of like, he's intense, isn't he? It's like, are you being the most impactful you can be right now? Stop fluffing around on Facebook. So who have you got that you want to emulate? Who do you want to be like? What do you want to achieve, and who's already achieved it? Really important that you can relate to the people who you want to aspire to be. So, okay, now we come to the nitty-gritty. What I want to do before that is also say you want to educate yourself about money. Really learn about money. If you want to be a force for change in the world, for good things in the world, you need to educate yourself about money and the money game, because money isn't real. Money isn't real. And if you haven't educated yourself about that, if you haven't been exposed to any of that, then you really need to have a good look at what money really is, because they've taken away all the backing of money now. Money is now what they call fiat money, which means there's no backing. The only value that there is in money is the value that we put in. It's our belief in it that gives it any value whatsoever. And money is just numbers on a screen now. All they do is create money out of thin air and then charges the freaking earth to borrow it, to be good citizens, to buy the crap that we want to buy, and to have the nice house, and to, you know, you really need to educate yourself about the money system, because otherwise you will continue to be enslaved about the money system. Money is not toxic, but the money system is. So you want to know about the money system so you can empower yourself with money, to leverage money, to do good, amazing, great things with money in the world. Money in and of itself is not the problem. It's your belief systems about money that are the problem. And if you have belief systems like money is the root of all evil, or anything like that, or money is toxic, or it's just a story, you need to let it go, because money is just a tool to create great things in the world. Don't be a part of the money system. Don't fuel it. Don't fund it. Get out of the money system. However, use your money that you create in your life for doing good things. Here's the thing. Wealthy people know the game of money inside out. It's pretty easy to make money. You can just go and get a job. It's a lot harder to keep money, because we are conditioned to be good little citizens and good little consumers, and go and spend our money on all this crap that we are constantly bombarded with in advertising to say that, you know, in order to you deserve this. What does L'Oreal say? Because I'm worth it. Really? Seriously? I'm worth a ton more than that shit that you're peddling that promotes animal cruelty. I'm worth way more than that stuff, and I don't need it to prove my self-worth in the world. You don't need anything to prove your self-worth in the world. You don't. All of that stuff, all of the trappings, all of the upmarket stuff they want to sell you, you're worth way more than that. Stop it. You don't need any of that stuff. So it's easy to make money, even if it's only a small amount. It's harder to keep it. It's even harder to grow it. And you know what the wealthy do really, really well? They know how to keep it. Yes, they know how to spend it. The really wealthy know how to spend it hand over fist. However, they have a plan about their money. They have a plan to grow it. They have their expendable income, which they love to throw around and on nice things and whatever. But they take care of their wealth strategy first. They invest it. They grow it. And they know that while whatever they're spending is nothing compared to the strategy that they have in place to grow their money. So put your systems and your strategies in place first to reset your mind and get the right mindset around money, the right belief systems around money, to keep money and stop spending it hand over fist on crap that you don't need, and then grow it. You must have a system in place. Structure brings freedom. If you don't have a system, if you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail. So, all right, now we get to the part where, and stick around because I'm going to give you 8 tips. If you take nothing else away from this webinar, I'm going to show you 8 things that you can do right now to set yourself up for success in 2016. So don't go anywhere. But what I'm going to share with you right now is the opportunity to work with me further. So you can work with me one-on-one. If you want to do that, you can get in touch with me at margarita@pitbullmindset.com. So margarita@pitbullmindset.com. You can shoot me off an email to find out how you can work with me. However, if you want to work in a group situation with me, then it costs $2,500 to work with me one-on-one each and every month, or $25,000 for the year. Or you can work with me in a group coaching program. And if you want to get information on this, you go to pitbullmindset.com/unleash-greatness. Now, I don't have a sales page there. You either know that you want this or you don't. It's that simple. And what I'm going to say to you is I want you to work with me, absolutely, because I know I can get you better results. I know I can get you radically better results than what you're getting right now. But if I don't resonate with you, if the Pitbull doesn't resonate with you, then find somebody that you resonate with and damn well work with them to get you the results that you want. Don't try to be a hero. Work with somebody to mentor you, coach you in some capacity. But my program at the moment, it's actually, I'm going to release this in January to the general public, and it will be $797 when I release it to the public in January. Because you're a loyal member of my community, I'm going to offer this to you at a significantly discounted price, and if you get in early, it's at a significantly discounted price. So you can pay $497, now that's US dollars. So if you're in Australia, it's going to be slightly more. So United States, $497, or 2 installments of $297. And that is for, I'll actually take you over to the page to show you the page. So as I said, it's not a big sales page or anything. If you want to live an exceptional life, it's an 8-week live group coaching program. You're going to get 90-minute live weekly sessions. Plus, when you jump on board now for the discounted price, you're going to get 2 bonus sessions that we start tomorrow. Here's the thing, you don't have a lot of time to think about this. We start tomorrow in this program. I'm going to help you to activate your greatness, clear the blocks that are stopping you from living an exceptional life, change your relationship with money and success, release negative belief systems about money and success, learn how to use powerful techniques to transform your life, change the energy of money in your life, and every call will be recorded for you to listen later if you can't make it live. So there's 10 calls if you invest now. As I said, it starts tomorrow. It's the 8th of December in the US and the UK, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. In Australia, it's 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time. So, I mean, the choice is over to you. What do you want for 2016? If you want something different, you're going to have to do something radically different. And if this is something that resonates with you, then stop telling yourself you can't and be resourceful and find a way to just do it. And if not me, find somebody else. So that's the program. As I said, I'm not going to do the big sales thing. You either know you want it or you don't. pitbullmindset.com/unleash greatness. And I've actually just run this program. I finished running it just a few weeks ago. And this was from a lady called Wendy who's on the program. The last few weeks have been really empowering and have changed my whole outlook. I feel miracles happening, and I also feel very appreciative that I have grown and I can see a shift. And with your help, I do believe that I'm going to be an awesome person at what I do, and I'm very grateful. I never had a lot of confidence before, and I noticed from week to week I feel totally different. I believe there is definitely magic in the air. I know I have a rosy future ahead of me. And what I said to her was, she's also already awesome at what she does. But building that confidence has been very empowering for her. And she's already invested in the next 10-week program to be a part of it because she got so much out of it. 3 people who were on the last one have reinvested in the next one because they got so much out of it. Actually, 4 people. 4 people. And this was from Tamina Ashton. I, as many others, have had the good fortune to have been coached by Mikey Reader. It was during this coaching that her unique insight and knowledge to see others and others' infinite possibilities drew out what was required for me to release in order to move forward to the fruitful life that was waiting for me. Now, I want to show you something because this website was birthed during that Tamina worked day and night. After the first 3 weeks of the program, she knew what she wanted to do. She knew who she was, and she had about 1,000 different titles, different ebooks and audiobooks that she had sitting there. She'd gotten permission from some of the biggest authors on the planet. Seriously, you need to go and have a look at some of these titles. And I helped her to put together a structure that would work for her to earn money out of all these titles that she had. She worked day and night to set up webtrove.com. It is a membership site. You get to download some of the biggest, I'm serious, the best titles in the world, the biggest authors, for a very small amount of membership. So if that's something that appeals to you, go and check out webtrove.com and see the titles that she's got there, because seriously, it will blow your mind. As I said, you need to set yourself up for success in your environment. This is a big part of your environment. So, but she did all of this, the back end, the front end, everything. She set it up in a space of 3 weeks during the program that we had. And it was the work that she did in the program that got her to that space to be able to do that. So if you're ready to unleash your greatness, then, you know, go and register and get ready to unleash your greatness and your success and set yourself up for success in 2016. There will be a couple of weeks break over Christmas. So if you know you want it, go get it. If you don't, as I said, find somebody else to work with. Just do it. I'm constantly investing in myself. I have a coach. I'm currently in a mentoring, ongoing mentoring program, group mentoring program. I'm investing in these entrepreneurial groups. I'm heading over to the Amazon for a think tank the end of January, beginning of February, with 70 other massive entrepreneurs who are looking to disrupt and change the planet in a good way. So, you know, I've got so many things going on that are helping me to step up and achieve what I want to achieve. And look, 6 months ago, actually 4 months ago, 5 months ago, I was ready to throw in the towel. We all go through those times where you just think, oh my God, is it all worth it? Man, I have come out of that just on fire and so focused that I'm just like a machine at the moment building my pit bull business. So if you want to jump on this, you better get in early, because next year it's going to be a lot more when I release it to the general public. So here are 8 things that you can do right now to set yourself up for success in 2016. Decide what you want. I've already been over that. Just decide what you want and make the conscious decision to commit to it. Nothing's going to get in your way. You will be unstoppable. Write it down. Write your goals down and put them somewhere that you can see them. So you revisit them on a regular basis and make sure you're on track and you're staying focused. Commit to your goals. Are you interested or are you committed? Because if you're committed, you'll do whatever it takes. Set timelines. When do you want to achieve them by? And set realistic timelines. Now, you can achieve amazing things in a short period of time, but if you set up massive goals with short timelines, you must really be prepared to do a lot of work in a short period of time. And I'm not saying you can't do it. Just set yourself up for success. Chunk your goals down. So you might have your big vision. You then need to have that plan where you've chunked your goals down in smaller bite-sized chunks. So you can have a path for success. So you have some definite milestones that you're making along the way, from monthly down to weekly down to daily, so you can tick them off and see that you're achieving them. Big things are achieved by doing small things consistently. Big things are achieved by doing the small things consistently. So chunk them down, prime your brain for success. As you know, I use EFT, sound healing, peace process, instant miracle technique, and a variety of different reframing processes to prime my clients' brains for success. It's fast. It is seriously fast. It gets change happening in your brain really fast. And you need to do that if you want radically different results fast. So do whatever you need to prime your brain for success. Stop trying to be a hero. Stop trying to do it all on your own. That is the hard way to living a mediocre life and getting disappointment and really mediocre results over a long period of time. And if you continue to try to do it that way, then, you know, that is your choice. But I can just about guarantee that you will either, one, give up, or you will get to a point like I did that I just go, I can't do this anymore. I can't keep getting these crap results over and over, because it's so disheartening. It can be very destroying for the soul. And take consistent action. Consistency is one of your best friends. So that's it. I have completely bombarded you today, and I hope you have taken masses of notes to be able to put things in place to unleash your greatness, to live an exceptional life, to make shift happen. You got to make it happen. You have so much to offer the world, and just don't hold back. Don't let anything hold you back. So I'm going to go back now to the questions and answer box to see if you have any questions. Okay, where can we see the details of what is offered with the program? I'll type it in here in the chat box. mindset.com/unleash greatness. There you go. It's actually a link now in the chat box. Hi, KT from Portland. So there's not a lot of activity happening in the chat box. I will hang around for a little while. And in order to do that, as soon as I stop the webinar, it's actually going to go straight to the sales page. So I will stick around for a little while and answer your questions if you have any in the chat box. But look, I thank you so much for being here. And just the fact that you've showed up, because there were about 150 people who registered. And if you're one of the people who have turned up, and if you're one of the people who are listening to the replay because you couldn't turn up, then you are the person who is going to make shift happen in your life. You're the person who is ready to step up and do what you need to get the results that you want. Because it's fine to register, but if you don't actually turn up, then nothing's ever going to happen. The next thing that you need to do to be the person who gets the exceptional life is to actually take the action that you need to take. Do whatever you have to, but do something and stop waiting for perfection. Those who wait for perfection never achieve their goals. Take imperfect action and perfect it along the way. Nothing will ever be perfect. Your situation will never be perfect. Stop waiting for all your ducks to line up in a row, because it's never going to happen. And just get the job done. Get it done. Get over your stories and the BS and do what you have to unleash your brilliance in the world and unleash your greatness, because you are so amazing and you deserve so much better results than you're getting right now. So again, if you've got any questions, type them into the chat box. Thank you so much for being here with me today. It is an honor and a privilege to be with you and to share this information with you and to work with you. And if you want to go along and register for my new group of Pitbull people, join the Pitbull community, then you can head on over to pitbullmindset.com, register your details there, because that's where my main focus is going to be moving forward, and I will be moving away more and more from the Conscious Wealth Institute. So thank you again for being here. I'm just going to turn off my microphone, but as I said, I will stick around for just a few minutes to answer your questions. And if I can get back to my actual presentation. Okay, so bye guys, have an amazing day, and I hope to work with you in the very future. Bye for now.